Hi there! In this video I will show you how to put together this Snowman stacking box set, which is an SVG file from Simply Crafty SVGs. So this pile of paper here, all these cutouts, this is for the Snowman stacking box set. I did have a video. It's an older design, so I'm putting a video out. It's popular. I kind of like it still. I would do things a little bit different if I were doing it today, but this was done in 2016, and as far as the actual original design, I did just fine-tune the design recently. I didn't really add anything to it. So these are the pieces. So these are the scarf and hat band pieces. Actually, I have two different colors. These are the hat bands. I'm going to find out which one I like better, so I just did both. So let's go ahead and put that aside. This is part of the bottom box, and that'll go on top, and it's optional. I'll explain when I get to that point. These are a bunch of little pieces. So scarf pieces, optional pieces that you can use for the design on the hat. And then we have all these black pieces. I had them organized earlier. Those are the hat pieces, which will be the top of the lid for the top box. So there's two boxes in this set. And I admit this, my written instructions that I had previously were not the greatest, so this is why we're doing the video. And then here are the pieces. So you can see that's the small box. And then this is, let's make sure I have all the right pieces here. This is the lid to the bottom. And that goes with that. So I'm only going to show you, actually I'll show you both, but I might not go through all of the bottom box because it's similar to the top box. So let's go ahead and start. So we're going to start with the hat lid. I was going to start with the boxes, but we're just going to do the top lid, which is the hat. So what we want to do first, it doesn't really matter which one you do first, but we're going to just put those two right there. Make sure they're nice and folded on all the scores with all the tabs. So you want to make sure that. This will go on later. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue this onto this, and then we're going to glue those underneath. So let's go ahead and take this piece, add glue to the side tab, and I am using art glitter glue and American Crafts texture cardstock. So I'm just putting that edge right up to the tab fold, not over it. Oops, moved a little bit. And be careful with the glue on the hat because we don't want it seen. We don't have anything going on the outside of this. So I always have a little damp paper towel just to clean up my fingertips and that. So now make sure it's nice and folded right there. So we're going to start. We can just do two tabs at a time. I'm going to add glue up close to the edge there. And the crisper your fold lines are, the better for this. Because we're going to fold them under. So we're going to line that up. See, we're lining that edge up. Just trying to catch that light there. Then the next one, we're just going to fold just underneath there, and you can see I'm just lining it up, and then I'm holding the tab. This is what it looks like on the bottom. So we're going to continue going around like that until it's all glued underneath. So if you could do like a couple tabs at a time. If you're new to this and you're not really familiar with how long your glue takes to dry, or I'm slow, but I'm much faster than I used to be because I've gotten used to doing this a lot. But you got to do as many as will work for you. So we're forming the edge of the hat lid. And I'm just reaching inside, applying pressure to the tab at the same time. I know it's dark. I like demoing in the right correct color, but sometimes with black it's hard to see. Hopefully that's a little bit better. So when you get to this last tab, you just want to kind of flip it in. I'm kind of pulling it back right now to add the glue. And then I'll glue to the inside. So that towel is just slightly damp. It's not really, really wet, but it's wet enough to pull the glue off really quick or get it off my fingertips. Because black shows the glue really well. Different glues work differently, but no matter what glue I've ever used, because you know some swear by other types of glue that, oh no, you can't see the smudges. I've tried them. If it's gonna, any glue's gonna smudge for me. That's just the way it is. So that's the edge of that. So now we're gonna take these two pieces. I'm gonna put that aside. And we're going to attach them with this side tab to make the top of the hat. So I'm just going to flatten it, apply pressure. And then you can see I'm just folding it, and obviously I've already pre-folded all these. Just got glue on my fingers. So it's not going to easily go flat because of the angle. I'm going to line that up, make sure it's lined up on the top and bottom, and that edge goes right up to the tab fold. And I have a little bit of glue right there, so I just want to make sure it didn't get on the black. So the way this is going to attach is these are going to go inside here. Like that. So those are going to go in and fold back to attach. So what we want to do, the way I do these, I like to go with a mountain fold, which is the natural direction of the score, and then I go backwards. So I do that with each one. I'm just making sure that I'm training it to go backwards, so because it's going to glue like right here. But then I'm going to flip them in. What I like to do is find the seam and match it up. So wherever you have the seam, which is right here, kind of match it up with the seam on here. You can pick the best side. I'm going to add glue to this, so I'm going to do it right here. I'm going to add glue to this tab. I'm going to line it up to that side. I'm folding it back, getting it in place, making sure that it's in that section. You can't see it very well. I'm going to flip it over. So I made sure that this edge went all the way to the inside tab fold. And there it is on the other side. So that's the most critical part, is getting that first one in. So now we're just going to flip it over. And I like to do the opposite. So I'm going to squish them all in so they're all coming through the hole now. And then I'm going to do the one that's opposite to the one I just attached. I'm going to add glue to the tab. And I'm going to fold that back. So what I'm doing is anchoring it in place. I find when I anchor it in place, like that. So I have 2 of them attached. Then it makes it easier to put the rest of them. So the only thing you have to pay attention to the rest of this is to make sure that you kind of push it in to make sure that that inner edge meets the inner edge of the tab meets the edge of that top piece. You can just go around. Be careful with the type of glue that you're using. Like I said, I do use art glitter glue. You could cause ripples with using too much of certain kinds of glue. I can do that with art glitter glue too. I have a little glue on my fingertips. So that's not all glue. My hands are terribly dry because I've been washing them over and over and over during this nice COVID-19 thing. So I gave up trying to make them a little bit moister for the video, but I tried. It's cold and dry. So we'll finish this up and then we'll go on to the next step. So now what's nice is that we can take this piece, put it in there, and it'll hide all those tabs. So we'll attach that. We don't have to do that, but just add glue and then you're going to kind of just want to hold it around to get it in place. So here, to get this on here, we want to kind of fold those in, add glue to all these tabs. I want to try to do them all at once. Keep them as wet as possible. I used to primarily use Scotch Quick Dry, but I found that this is a little wet, a little longer. So that's one of the reasons why I use this more than I do Scotch Quick Dry, because I'm really slow and I don't like to have to re-glue things. So you just, when you fold it down, we're just going to start from where it folds over and go around the edge, and it's going to kind of depress a little bit, so don't worry about that, just kind of keep on going. The whole point is trying to get this edge lined up with these edges, lined up with the edges of that top panel. And once you get it in place, just go all the way around, flip it over. Then you can use something like one of my favorite tools, a wooden chopstick. We'll go around and apply pressure on each of the tabs inside. You can't see them, but you can go ahead and, if you can get your hand in there, you can do that as well. Just use your fingers to apply the pressure. I can barely get them in. So you'll probably want to go around and get that all. So that finishes the lid, so we'll go on to the boxes. So I put that insert on the top, so it's nice and clean and you can't see those tabs. So that's the lid for the top. So this is the bottom box. So there's a top and bottom. So we're going to do the bottom box here. And it's quite simply, we're just going to glue these tabs and make sure they're scored really well. I'm going to line that up. And with white, it's kind of hard to see where the fold is, so just try to look carefully and line it up on the top and bottom. Make sure that's nice, good and folded. Then I'm just going to fold that over flat. I'm going to just fold it right back over. It should just fold right into place. So I'm not one that, when it comes to a gift box, because these are truly gift boxes, make sure that's nice and glued there. You could, some people like to glue the tabs on the inside. You can do that just like we did the hat if you want to, but then you'll see the tabs on the inside. But the quick way to do it, if you're going to give this away, because people aren't going to flip things over normally and look at the bottom, because you see tabs on other boxes. just flip that inside. And then we want to add glue. If you want to do half of it, we want to add glue to all these side tabs. I'm going to kind of hold it up there at an angle. So let's do, let's do 4 of them. So I'm going to flip all these over, but I only have 4. So it starts right here. I'm going to flip it over. I'm just going to push it in and go around and pushing in the sides to match up that inner fold to the sides. So you can also reach in and apply pressure like that. So I'm going to do it to the other 3. So this just makes it faster to put together. One thing while I'm doing this, I've had many inquiries on resizing this file. So you can resize the file, but you can only go as large as the largest file. So that will fit on the mat. So I'm going to try to note that in the product description if you want to know how big it can get. But I've had several inquiries, especially over this past year, on how to make it larger. So it's not like the most, I mean, obviously it's not like really ultra sturdy, but you can put a gift in there. Once you get everything together, it gets sturdier. So let's go ahead and take, I'm going to put that up there. And I'm going to take these pieces, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this together similar to the hat. I didn't rework this file completely, so the tab's right there on this one or on the other side. So we just line that up. So the difference for this one, because, okay, so there's 2 options here, so let me explain both options. The file was built to put something on top of this lid, a decorative piece, which is this. If you don't care about the decorative piece and you just want it white, you'll want to put this together slightly different. So you see I've connected these edges. If you want to use this top piece, which we're going to do in the video, we're going to flip it inside and glue the tabs on top, and then this will hide those tabs. If you don't, you just want it plain white, just go ahead and glue it underneath. Just go around and glue it just like we did the lid, just like that. Okay? So, but in this, I'm going to just pull them back a little bit, flip them in, and because we're going to cover that top with that panel, we're just going to do it the same way that we glued the other one. So you can just get half of the tabs. Since there's only 7 left, we'll get 4 of them. So we'll go ahead and finish this, and then we'll put that top piece on. So I'm just going to skip forward to the next section because we've already done this before. And then we'll come back. So I'm finishing up putting this second box together, which is the same as the first box I put together. So just the same as this. So I'm just applying pressure on the tabs there. I'm gluing them to the bottom. And my fingers aren't quite long enough, so we're just going to use this to apply pressure against the tabs. Every once in a while there's a stubborn tab, so we'll attach that. So now we have this. Just have to angle it right. That goes on the top, so that makes That's the lid for the top piece. And we know this is the lid for the bottom. But what we want to do, if you glued the tabs on the inside, you didn't want to put that outside. We're just going to glue it like this. Now, why I did this initially, I mentioned this is an earlier design, and with time I changed the way I do things. I was thinking this could be used as a regular box too, so you could just, it has a lid on it, so if you don't want to put the scarf on it, then it just makes a decorative lid. But just because I'm more familiar with what people like, it's different. It's probably not something I would do today in almost 2021. Please, 2021, come here soon. So we're just going to add glue on that. We want to make sure it's centered. Just going around, making sure it folds around all edges here. And then just flip it over. And then you can go ahead and glue these sides down. So, as you know, I do a majority, well, I think it's a majority now, but majority of my designs I have an assembly video. But this one I didn't, so it was one that was commonly asked for. So when I can, I go back, even though they have written instructions, and as I do this, I'm actually removing the written instructions from the PDF file, but for those that don't ever download the newest one, or at least have the old one, they'll have both. But I did update the file in October 2020, so if you downloaded it prior to that, you might want to go and get the updated version, because it has a complete file now. And I just tweaked a couple little things that you probably wouldn't notice, but that I noticed. So if you glue those really well, you could just use it as a regular box. So just know that you could use this as a regular gift box all year round. I know it's a little bit big, but think about it. You could just put some goodies in there and put a birthday thing on there, and it's just something you can use the box for other than just having a snowman. So we're at the point that we have the boxes done. So let's go ahead and add the components to it. So let me go ahead, I'm going to put the lid back on. So let's go ahead and add this little embellishment bowl of goodies. So you have a couple options you can use. So I'm going to bring everything out. You can use this on the hat, or you can use what we're going to use. So that comes with the vial. It's this, the holly and berry. So what I did is kind of scored the middle of it with my little tool here, then kind of bent it a little bit already. Then we're going to add the berries. So there's a little place there to add the berries. I'm going to go ahead and do that. You see it's a little rounded right there, and there's a little round right there. So again, you can use either this or the snowflake for the hat. We're going to put that aside. We're just going to put that right there. This is the nose. We're going to piece together the eyes. So you can do however you think look cute. You can put them down like that. We'll just do that. We'll just put the dot right here to make it easier. So you could add little googly eyes too. That's up to you. So that's that part. We have the eyes. We have this, if you use it, it's up to you whether you want to use it or not. So here's another optional piece. I'm not going to add it to this one, but if you do, you just want it kind of coming right out of the mouth. So I'm going to add a little glue right there. Just going to line that end piece up. You have a little pipe. Wouldn't this be cute? You could actually use this for a on a card. You could just, anyways, it'd be an interesting card. I just had some ideas. And then we have the buttons. Actually, this is a snowflake from a different design, but I thought if I use snowflakes, I'll use both, but I'm not going to use the snowflakes. So however you want to do it for these, you can put it like that and overlap like that, or you can overlap the other way. It doesn't matter. So whatever one I put down first is going to decide it. And my black wasn't really cutting well on my machine today. So black paper, black cardstock. There's something about the die. I don't know the technical reason. I'm just lining that up. There's something about the die that it's harder to cut. I'm assuming that's what causes it. That's what I've read briefly from others that are more knowledgeable, or at least. So I have to, usually I have to put a little bit more pressure. Use more pressure on the cutting machine I'm using. So that'll be ready to go. Then we have the buttons. If you do like our designs, this one or any of our other ones, I always ask if you could give me a little thumbs up, below, and or subscribe to our channel. And if you hit the little bell, it'll tell you when we have new projects or tutorials. Hoping to get a couple tutorials out this week because I've been using a lot of you can do it this way too, just be careful wait for the glue. Been using more print and cut because I have digital paper, and I did a video already for Cricut, but Silhouette I wanted to show how to use digital papers, but then I realized that I want to do a video on how to use print and cut first, and then we can go on and show you how to use the digital paper, because the basics, first I wanted to get the basics, so I wanted to get those videos. So my embellishment bowl is empty, but we'll put those back in. So let's go ahead and put the eyes and the nose and the mouth on. Maybe I will put the pipe on. So you might want to just try a good portion of the box. So you might want to keep this on so you know how far down you can go. That's up to you. Or you can, you can eyeball it, come down here. But you can always do this, because you want to do an eye on each section. There's a seam there, so we're going to not do it there. So you put the eyes, I'm going to kind of test where they're going to go. So put a little higher. So you'll want to kind of curl that around and then put so I'm just going to kind of curl it. Actually, last minute change. I'm going to pop those eyes up. I'm going to go through all this to do a video for an old thing. I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to tear this. Normally I cut it. I don't cut them with my everyday scissors, because they get gummed up. It does the trick. I didn't make it clean, so you should really cut it. I'm going to kind of Let's see, should I angle them? I'm just kind of going to angle them a little bit. So I'm going to see where that first one is, and then I'm going to pull it off. Kind of angle it. I don't want to, I just didn't want the hat to hit it. So we'll just double check. There we go. So I'm going to do the same on the other side. Just doing something a little different. We've done this box in a while. Actually, it was one of my favorite boxes for a while. It was simple, but I like Snowman. And I don't know. I just like the idea of making something functional but cute. Cute and functional. I prefer function with most of my designs. So we're going to center that. Kinda. There we go. You can angle it if you wanted to. So I'm just going to kind of get stuck on one side. And you can put that on however you want. I forget that kind of juts out like that. That's funny. Okay, so we're just going to let it jet out like that. Could have put the eyes a little higher. So let's go ahead and add the hat band. So I was trying to decide which one would be better. I don't remember which way that goes. I always put these on wrong. So it's always I'm using the wrong one, that's why. So the curvy one. Going batting 1,000, huh? So let's put that on there. Let's see if this looks good with the... So in the file, the scarf color is matched up with the hat band. I kind of like that. But I was making a decision whether I wanted to do that or not and have them different colors. But I think I'm going to go with the green. So, but I printed out a red just in case. Because I was doing a print and cut with the pattern paper, and that pack had that red, and I thought it would be fun. So for this, I would pick the nice to start on the back. So you see how it goes like that? That's how it goes on. So it just wraps around here, and then you glue it on. You want to kind of push it down. Paper will glue better, so whatever the front you want the front to be, just so pick the nicest front part. I'm going to go right here. So we can start at the back. I'm just going to add a little glue to this. Get it started. I'm going to push it down, but I want to make sure that it lines up before I really... So I'm pushing it down to make sure that the bottom edge is down. Then you could just add glue you don't have to do it to every single thing. But as I go around, kind of have to clear it to make sure you can push it down. Then I'll just finish it off. Go all the way around. Try not to get the glue too close on the top, just in case it kind of rides up a little bit. We don't want, while we're adjusting it, we don't want it to. So I'm just kind of pulling it around kind of tight and right up to that. So once you get it in place, you can go ahead and reach in and apply pressure. So I decided that was the front. This is what happens when you don't score something really well. And then we'll go ahead and just add glue to this, or you could do like a little glue dot or something like that. And this is going to be the front. So I'm going to put it to the side a little bit. I tend to go to the right hand side. So I'm just applying pressure to it. So now we have the top box basically done. There it is. I'm going to rotate it. Rotate it around just once. So that's cute. Just by itself, this is just a cute box. You just want to do the top box. And then the bottom, you're going to see each piece has a little small, so they just overlap. So you just want to glue them on here. So we'll just add it to here. So it's kind of pointless to have this top panel obviously on the sides because we're going to cover it. But you can still use this for something. So we're going to start right here. Going to match it up. So when you start putting this, you go ahead and put it on like that and start with that little piece, and then you'll start wrapping it around. Now I sped this up, and I know I was a little bit off the screen for a lot of this video, but you just want to wrap it around those two pieces, and they'll kind of overlap, and you can put that small piece underneath on the other side. And I apologize that it's not completely seen, but it just wraps around. And since I made this video, I did a little editing to enhance that, so it should go around. For some reason, that panel wasn't fitting quite well, and I never received feedback on it. So hopefully I fixed it. So that's how you do it, and that's what it'll look like before we put on the next part, which is the scarf. So what you could do too, I guess I forgot to mention this. If you don't want to put this around, you could just omit this piece and put this as the color of the scarf. So that's an option too. I thought of that when I saw that, because you know I have to remember how these boxes go together. So we still have to put the buttons. So we can just go ahead and it'll just go like that. We're just going to put the buttons down the middle. So wherever you want them, just go ahead and place them. So pick obviously a good, these come off, so obviously the lid comes off. So the other options you had, you can do a lot of things. People have better ideas than I do. You can put real buttons. This just looks like buttons. Or you could glue this to the top. I mean, if you don't, that's one way. So I'm going to actually look at if you want these bottom panels, I'm going to put them in the extra stuff folder. I'm going to update it one more time and maybe make this just a little bit larger, but it should be fine the way it is. And then you can either put the scarf on the left or the right. So if you want it on the left, you can put it on the left or the right. And just glue it to this top piece here. Just line it up. And that's it. It's just kind of a cute little gift box instead of giving somebody just a normal gift box. You can make this little stacking snowman gift box. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please give me a like, and I thank you so much for watching.